When you rely on the internet for everything, you need speed that can handle anything. And now, Xfinity delivers Wi-Fi speed faster than a gig. Check out our amazing offers on internet and learn about the latest breakthrough from Xfinity. Wi-Fi speed faster than a gig. That's more than enough speed to power all your devices and then some. Go online, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today to learn more. Restrictions apply. Gig Wi-Fi requires gig speed and compatible X-Fi gateway. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed.
And why I disagreed with Anubhav Sinha for that matter, or anybody on that panel, was that this is not my case, this is yours. And I don't agree with it. I mean, if it makes things a little bit unpleasant, but at the same time, I felt like this is also like a space where this gap has to be filled.
Lights, Camera, Azadi is a show that is on a quest to meet personalities. The personalities who have always challenged the status quo. These people are courageous and confident to speak the truth and are best at it. Though the world may or may not agree with them, they always work for nation building. We want to talk to them and understand their perspective. We want to know their worldview, their thoughts, and what gaps do they see in the society, and most importantly, how to live life fearlessly. My name is Vandit Jain, and I'm just a medium to get these stories to you.
Hello, and hello. 4 hellos, because we are meeting after 4 weeks. I know it has been long. Well, why such a break, one may ask? Well, firstly, I got COVID, but nothing to worry, I'm fine now and all good. Uh, Second of all, I got a little lazy and procrastination sort of kicked in this past 1 month. So was recording less, little not so keen on working, but now I'm fine, back in action. And we are here after a very long time on another Sunday and another special episode, this time with a filmmaker, Jyoti Nisha. Jyoti is a writer, producer, director, thinker. She was also the assistant director of Gilipuchi, a hit movie on Netflix. She also introduced a theory in academia called the Indian cinema and the Bahujan spectatorship, elaborating on the consumption of popular cinema by the marginalized community. In this episode, we talk about a bunch of things. It is a very diverse conversation. We began talking about Jyoti's journey, understanding what film school was like, the process behind filmmaking, what is it like to make a career in Bollywood, understanding Bollywood's engagement with sensitive issues like caste, the movie Gilipuchi, and her upcoming movie, which I'm really excited for, is B.R. Ambedkar Now and Then. It is a fun packed conversation. Have your cup of coffee, sit, relax, and tune into this episode. So, without wasting any time, introducing Jyoti Nisha.
This episode is brought to you by Miva Naturals. Miva is a homemade brand dedicated to your personal care experience. Miva make products with dedication, love, and with a touch of nature. They don't use any chemicals or harmful substances in their products to ensure you get the best feeling, which is long lasting. Miva makes products which are colorful and are fun to use, and it aims to be your best experience in the whole day. If you'd like to order your first Miva product, please go to miva.co.in and insert the code AZADI during checkout and get instant 20% off. So, what are you waiting for?
Hi all. Lights Camera Azadi is a year old now. While I do this effort part time and after office hours and on weekends, the truth is, I haven't made any money out of it. If you think what I do is worth it, it adds value in your existing knowledge base, and you want me to continue doing this, I request you to please support me for an episode that you like. You can go to patreon.com/azadi and make any contribution, big or small, of your choice. To just make a one-time contribution, cancel the charges after you have paid. Your small contribution can go a long way in my endeavor to bring stories to you. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Jyoti Nisha, welcome to Lights Camera Azadi.
Thank you so much.
ये बहुत बड़ा प्लेजर है ज्योति आप शो पे आए हो और ऑल्सो दिस इज लाइक माई क्लेम टू फेम because now I can brag in front of my friends that I know a filmmaker.
Okay, all right. Okay. That's fun.
या तो ज्योति काफी अच्छा लगा आप शो पे आए एंड इट्स वेरी एक्साइटिंग. How is the pandemic going on? How is it treating you? Are you doing well? Everybody in your family doing well?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm living in Bombay and I'm all by myself, and yeah, I've just been like locked in, not going out at all, just going for groceries. That's all. That's about it. Family is good. They're also cautious and taking care of all the precautions and things. So things are good. Yes.
ग्रेट, गुड टू हियर दैट. ज्योति, थोड़ा आपके बैकग्राउंड के बारे में बताओगे आप, जब वेयर यू कम फ्रॉम एंड आपकी लाइफ की जर्नी कैसी रही है, एंड लाइक हाउ डिड यू एंडेड अप बिकमिंग अ फिल्म मेकर, व्हाट वाज दैट लाइक?
Oh my God.
लॉन्ग
Journey.
क्वेश्चन.
It's a very
या,
philosophical question, actually.
इट इज.
Yeah. I don't know. I think वही मामला गेज वाला है, I think, which I kind of was looking at all my life. Um, so I mean, like, you I come from Lucknow, and I have done my schooling in Lucknow and graduation in Lucknow, and I did that in arts from Awadh Girls Degree College. And then I went to IMC Delhi. But I studied at this Dehan Canal Center, so I studied English journalism, but we learned like everything about mass communication and stuff. And then basically, then I did an internship with the Indian Express Chandigarh, then got a job in Lucknow with Times of India. And it was nice. I mean, like, I think I just really liked writing and stories, for all I know. Just this ability to be able to express yourself, I think, from a very early age. It brought kind of healing to me. And I was very aware of that whenever I wrote. Even during my graduation, I was writing blog entries and stuff. So it was like a separate space I was exploring through writing. Then yeah, after Times of India, it was FTI Pune, where again I studied feature film and screenplay writing. It was a PG certificate course, and that, like, school kind of just changed my life. I mean, coming from Lucknow, and mm, almost like always felt like a misfit, because uh, I was like a quiet child, but if I asked questions, then it was like very difficult questions.
या.
so, like, the elders would also be like very sincere about it. So, I mean, I think um, so just the idea of, I think, stories, it was very intuitive in that sense, and that's how I chose my education, basically what I wanted to learn. So it came for a very intuitive place about stories, and FTI was like a very, very free space, and there was no discourse on caste and gender. And I'll be very frank, even I didn't know much. I mean, I didn't understand it so much about it, despite that my father was an mom safe activist, and he was a national president of that organization. He was like really, really involved. So it was like a passive thing I kind of knew, but not like an active experience. And even if the experience of being a Bahujan person, or the discrimination, or whatever color coding and things that you experience, or language stereotyping, it happened to me as well, in very, very little portions, but I was not aware of it. So I think FTI kind of changed my life, because it was just about stories and cinema, and we were just kind of trained to watch a lot of cinema. You know, it was world cinema, and or it was like Indian cinema, and we had the NFDC very close to our school. So we were like watching at least like three to five films every day.
Wow. Wow, that's.
Yeah. So, and that was crazy, I think, because here, like, you are, whatever you're doing, you're chatting, and you're sitting in a library, or you're in a, like, maybe in canteen, and everybody was just like, there was this amazing intoxication, like, people are passionate about stories. And
Hmm.
and that was like really like changed my world in a way, to be able to explore yourself as a person, Um, but at the same time, I think I at FTI also I did not like I'm like I think I consider myself like a thinking sensitive person. So I think I was like that then also in some ways. And I would not be like I would not get along with a lot of my classmates. We would, and then I would, but then I won't, because it was a very small class as well. We were like 13 of us. And so the I really wanted to interact with more students and all that. And it also came from a place because whatever films we were being taught at FTI was like a lot of films I had not seen it. Okay. So I had no
Mhm.
exposure of a lot of cinema, like Godfather I had not seen in 2009.
Mm.
So it was very difficult for, like, my professor was Anjum Rajavali, um, who's done, I mean, who know, right, who's Anju Rajavali. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, he's done Arakshan and like brilliant films, Satyagraha and all that. So he was like a really passionate professor and teacher. And so it was like whenever, so he was very like patient as a teacher, which I had not experienced in a lot of ways. So I mean, if in my schools before, so he would be like basically we were discussing a lot of cinema, and which I had not seen, so it would like become very difficult for Anjum to really figure out what to so I had this thing of not having this knowledge, kind of I experienced there as well. So I was interacting with more students from other backgrounds, or other courses like direction, cinematography, or editing, and it was like a free space in that sense. People, I mean, students did interact a lot. And so that happened, and then I struggled a little bit in Bombay, and I didn't want to write the Saas Bahu stories.
Mhm.
It was just beyond me, like this is very regressive, and I just don't connect with it, and those kind of things. So I was um, just doing projects which just paid the bills in some way, which you so it was like a very conscious, I think, I mean, not really conscious in the sense that why are you not able to connect with these the TV serials or the content.
Daily soap.
Yeah, or daily soaps, or like Savdhan India, or Crime Patrol, like so much violence. So I just didn't want to deal with violence and this aggressive content, because I just didn't think like that. So
Yeah.
so I was just trying to like apply to some screenwriting competitions and those kind of things, and which somehow like taught me a lot, and went to these mentorship programs and all that. So in a way I kind of figured it out, at least that was my understanding in 2012. That
Yeah.
when by 2012 I was like, okay, at least to tell stories, but you're just not able to figure it out, how do you work this around in Bombay, because the
Yeah.
discourse is the this whole gaze, and the things that they were talking about at that point of time, it just didn't connect as a person. And then so I left Bombay in 2014 and just went for traveling.
Mm.
Just thoda, like also dejected with like the Bombay was not really working out as a because I'd like spent some 3-4 years, and I wasn't getting to the kind of work that I wanted. Money was one, I mean, projects were coming which could pay you, but at the same time, it was not something you liked doing or enjoyed doing, So I did those kind of projects as well, but so I left for traveling, and then I think I met a lot of people around the world, and I saw like how people are able to do things on their own,
Mm.
you just had to like kind of bring yourself, and also figured in a way that you can tell stories from any space. It's not necessary as such that you need to be in Bombay to be telling stories. So traveling kind of gave that experience, da, da, da. And then I think by 2014, I mean, my mother started keeping really unwell, and so I was just like home a lot of times and with her. And though I have like a big family, but still, I just wanted to be around. So that time, I mean, I had lost my mother by 2015, and then Rohit
Mm.
Vemula happened. And
Oh,
so it was just like a very weird mix of a place that I felt like I was in life. And that time the political scenario was also such, this
changing.
yeah, changing, the protest
Mm.
at FTI, how it was working, happening, and how, and this whole Asmita Yatra that Jignesh was leading, and Chandrasekhar Azad. So there was like a lot of things that were happening at the same time. It was like a language, and it was like Baba Saheb, and everybody saying Jai Bhim, and then the political community, or that kind of knowledge production is also coming from your government side as well, and the appropriation of Baba Saheb, and it was like, wow. So I just felt like, and I was also like toying with the idea of that, I want to tell stories and I want to write and direct myself. Um, so I just it just felt like the really good time, and it just felt like to me that there is something historical that is unfolding. And I felt like, hey, you are in this space, you come from this community, your family has some kind of a bearing and involvement in the movement, and and you have been to film school, and you want
Mhm.
to tell something. So I was like, this is perfect. And it seemed like quite dramatic and systematic as well. So I just started shooting. I mean, I had this idea then as well. I mean, the title of the film, so I call that B.R. Ambedkar now. And then that time as well, because I kind of felt this resonance, and things that were being shown to me at home while I was taking care of my mother, and like the interaction that I was having with my brother. Then he'll be talking about separate electorate and Pune Pact or Hindu Code Bill, and I'm like, oh my
Mm.
god, I don't know all of these things, but it just makes so much sense, like it is so it is so dramatic. I just felt, in that sense. And so uh, like a history, a story of like an oppressive history, and like a kind of a discourse and all that. So I was just not able to like kind of put it together. So I shot for like a year and a half and all that, with my money. And with I was also trying, I mean, while I was shooting I was also doing a job, so I kind of got a job in Dehradun where my brother lives. And I negotiated with the organization that whenever I want to leave, you have to give it to me. That's how I will work.
Yeah.
So they were like, "Huh, okay, theek hai." So I was working as this like a cultural event kind of an organization, uh, who did a lot of activities with the arts and all that. Art, and they'll do like, invited, I mean, they'll do literature festival, those kind of things. So I was just taking care of their content and all that, designing those things, curating festival, or I was working as assistant editor with them. So I was also like, so whenever I took off, and I just kind of short, and then things are going way dramatic all over the country. So it was just like getting extended and extended. So then I was like, okay, quit the job and do this full time. And so yeah, and then the my camera person, she came. I mean, she um, very interesting things happened. I mean, like, पैसा नहीं था, but intention बहुत थी, और बहुत
Mm.
right equipments भी नहीं थे. So I shot a lot of for a lot of long time. We just shot with one camera only. So those limitations were also there in that sense. And then who's also working as a crew. I try to connect with some FTI people and all that, and it was just like the money that you need to pay, or the content that they could create with it was just not working out in some way. So I met this photographer. She wrote to me to write something for her, and then I wrote something for her. She really liked it, and she's like, "I can't shoot it. This is too good." And I'm like, "What rubbish!" So then, like, her pictures are really nice, and like, her gaze was really interesting for me. So I thought, I just told her like, "This is what I want to do. Do you want to come?" Blah blah blah, and so that's how we are Ambedkar now, and then began.
Wow.
Actually, yeah.
Yep, yep. So I've reserved one section for B.R. Ambedkar now and then.
Mhm.
But before that, I have a couple of follow-up questions. मतलब एक तो बड़ा कैंडिड सा सवाल है ज्योति कि मतलब फैमिली को कैसे कन्विंस करा कि फिल्म में जाना है?
नहीं, वो पागल ही समझते थे काफी टाइम तक।
अच्छा,
मतलब पता नहीं क्या कर रही है, बहुत पैशनेटली करती है जो भी कर रही है। लाइक I mean, I figured also, I think, as a, when I was in Bombay, and I come from a big family, and so it was very difficult for me. So I'm the sixth child. So,
okay.
so like, so when I lived in Bombay, it was so difficult. It was just like so traumatic living all by yourself. And it was exciting, but it was like also traumatic. You got to cook for yourself, you got to figure your moods and
Yeah.
lots of things, and you don't know Bombay, and it is expensive. So I think somehow that was also a time I was trying to figure out, okay, what kind of a writer are you actually, and how do you figure that thing. So I just even when I was because I was choosing to do only like a bunch of projects, not so much, and I had support from my family, so they were not like give me money. I was like, you give me money to do to live in Bombay. It's very
Mm.
expensive. So yeah, and then I think I kind of also negotiate. I was always this person, like if my siblings got married, they spend some money on their marriage or something. I was like, you don't have to do this for me, I will never do it. So
Yeah.
if you want to give me some money, so then you just like help me do what I want to do. um so it was just like, I think I figured, so in Bombay I started meditating and reading a lot, and that kind of gave me a lot of reflection, to what kind of a person are you, what kind of stories you want to do. And traveling, then it kind of gave me, it just kind of sort of I mean, it kind of let go of all the insecurities that you have, because you have to be responsible for yourself when you're traveling by yourself, and then if you're a
Mm.
woman, so a lot of risk taking, and meeting new people, perspective, this that. Just it was just I was not interested in doing anything else, so I was just working on things on myself, and I had a discipline. I will go for a walk or do something, or work out and meditate and just like cook a little bit and have breakfast and then go work. you know
Mm.
so I was doing this for, like, even if I was not sort of really working on something, I had a discipline, because I realized that writing requires a lot of discipline. And then I think my family really respected that. Also, my brother would constantly keep telling me, um, when I was like working for Times of India, or even I started to explore freelancing and started writing a little bit, he would constantly say, "Arey Baba Saheb ko padho and kuch likho, unka kuch karo, film banao."
Mm.
So I was like, okay, let's see it. So all of that, I think, um, it was. I just felt like this is what I know, and I'm really passionate about, and I I mean, this is something that I don't think so I will regret ever in my life, to explore myself as a writer or to be a filmmaker. It was bigger than anything else. And I think that dedication or that passion, somehow my family saw it, but they definitely did not understand it. That where are you coming from? Uh, because I'd quit Times of India, so sometimes you'll be told, "Arey tum deputy editor ban jati abhi tak," or something like that. या कुछ और हो
Mm.
जाता. So, but it was just more of I think being very more than adamant. It was just it became very important for me to find out that, are you a writer? you know what are you telling, and why you're telling. And and then and something that kind of drove me as a person. So that kind of an feeling of that madness I'd already seen in FTII. So it was, I think, oh, same people, you know so I think that way, just I think just that discipline and that madness and then passion, just family sort of saw to it, and they just kept um, mm, they were encouraging, they were not, I mean, discouraging for sure. So that was good. But of course, I mean, to not come from a family where nobody is there from media, and how does this thing work. So that was really difficult. But I think when this happened, so then I kind of figured like a space, political questions, and if you place yourself as a person in society, and then you read these authors and theoreticians and social scientists who have a perspective on like how oppressed people have been treated across the world, and how discourses are created, and how what is the relation between power and relation and all that. So when I kind of figured that, I think then I think my it's also resonated a lot with my family as well, that okay, she's going in her own way, but I kind of arrived
Yeah,
where
finally.
yeah to like so I think what I really appreciated was like I just took off travel plans all by myself, or I'll just tell them कि मेरे को नहीं किसी से बात करनी है, I just need to like just be by myself. And they just that I think I really appreciated that about my family. So yeah, that's it.
Hmm. And Jyoti, जब आप बोल रहे थे तो I was also one question came up in my head कि मतलब what is it like to uh, you know try and make a career in the film industry, because a lot of us, we have not pursued these careers, and but a lot of us who probably who are listening also, they come from very standard background.
Yeah.
So what is it like? I mean, is there a career path for you? Like people have jobs, you do a degree, you get a job, and then you rise in those ranks, and then you're set for life. तो
Yeah.
ऐसा career path रहता है in film industry and everything? Yeah, it's very much about contacts and chance, and getting the right click, etc. Your luck. How does that work?
See, I think uh, see, everybody's by the end of it. I mean, I would rather speak as an artist per se. Ki there are a lot of people who are there, so you need to also like kind of need to figure ki, what do you want to do, exactly. I think that's very very necessary. If you are it's like it's an unorganized industry. It does not necessarily work on content, I mean contact. It is more of content and what are you bringing to the table, and are you good at your job, you know and if you're more than good at your job, then you'll figure that place. But it's a place that it's not something that will work out. At least I think you take at least a year or two, to good year or two, to just understand how this system works, in terms of who to meet, where to go, what organizations, and how to figure work. And those opportunities are there. And of course, people are always looking for stories and jobs. But some people also just want to work as technicians. Some want to work as an artist, so it's also, I think, well, I think one need to like figure for themselves, ki, what do they exactly want to do. And and just like be relentless, because it's a slow process, I feel. And it's a slow process, and you just need to know who are the right people. I mean, and the right people is like a lot of research on your own work, and you need to be like bloody good at your work to be able to tell somebody, hey, this is gonna work, and how it's gonna work, I'm gonna tell you. And and then it is like take it or leave it kind of a situation. So you'll have to like keep trying. And if you really want to tell something, and I think those doors sort of open, like, I mean, because like when I was in film school, so I saw that, I mean, though when we were learning screenplay writing, we didn't have like we did not learn to shoot, or we did not learn to sort of understand the technical side of filmmaking. Maybe understanding lighting or camera, or understanding sound and all that. But those possibilities were definitely there in the institution, where you could interact, so you could learn. So but those students also made films, and yeah, as part of their course and exercises, and then they were sent to these film festivals to participate, and a lot of them came out with really good, I mean, a lot of them were like awarded and recognized. So I think I kind of felt, kind of knew that there was a pattern which was there. These grants are there, there are film festival screenwriting grants are there, there are pre-production grants are there content development grants are there. So which you don't which I think needs to be explored. And that is what I had personally started exploring at 2011-12 when I started applying for the different screenwriting competitions. And because it just brings a different perspective. Only the industry works in one way, yes, but what are you doing about, like how are you getting your project and whatever you're bringing to the table to get it that potential, or to get noticed for what you're bringing. So I think those exercises needs to be maneuvered as well. So I think yeah, I think that's my answer. Because
Yeah, yeah.
it's not like there is always a pattern. There is always like some kind of a perspective, that the popular perspective, like I'm speaking as a person that ये सेम चीज ही बोल रहे हैं, अभी कब से यही बोल रहे हैं, अभी तुम इसको काउंटर कैसे करोगे? सो अगर आपको काउंटर
Hmm.
करना है तो देन यू ब्रिंग दैट नॉलेज, यू ब्रिंग दैट असिस्टेंस, यू ब्रिंग दैट those those mechanism, and you tell them, in that sense. Or then or if people in India are not recognizes, the world is out there and they will recognize
Yeah,
your
yeah.
effort. So I think just I was like more, that's why, I mean, I was just like that kind of a person always. I didn't care what are you selling. But I just was always very interested in figuring out how can I do it, what is the way, like okay, ये हुआ मतलब you, and you're always also like as a creative person, as a person, I mean, you have to understand this business side of the industry. It's just not talent, it's just not an idea, it is discipline, it is a lot of dedication. It is really like telling them that this is the best.
Hmm.
This is the best, that like I am one of the best in that sense, I'm saying. When you go out and explore that opportunity. So I think that information is there, and it is so much that you'll be tired, that there is so much that you can
Hmm.
perhaps explore.
I can imagine. And ये जो मतलब ये मतलब इंडस्ट्री को थोड़ा सा ऐसा बदनाम सा करके रखा हुआ है कि अराउंड नेपोटिज्म और ये एंड एवरीथिंग, सो व्हाट्स योर टेक ऑन इट? आई एम जस्ट क्यूरियस.
What will be my take on it, man? Like um I don't know, if I get into power, I want to bring my people. That is all I would
Hmm.
say. But they are in power. So you just can't be just relentlessly saying कि खले रखा है. हाँ ठीक है, you can ask for an affirmative action. We can go there and talk about it. So I'm just saying, have
Hmm.
a plan, Don't just go on
Hmm.
a rant for everything.
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, personally,
Correct.
I think I'm more like that kind of a person. Okay, you have a criticism, fine. I also have some kind of a perspective, and maybe you do not know it. So let me bring it to you. I function like that. So I think um, yeah, I would just say that. And maybe that is all. Like I mean, as work also, like I try to this paper that I wrote, Indian cinema and Bahujan spectatorship, it was all about that. It was like, okay, okay, you have produced this knowledge, let me look at it. So when I looked at it, placed myself like that, I'm like, oh my god, that this representation has gone wrong in such a wrong way, and nobody's
Hmm.
talking about it. So talk about it, tell it in the way that you can really bat that, I think. So I would, I mean, I think personally I function like that. I really, I mean, I realize there is a structure in society, and there is this power difference and all of that, but you ask for that place, and when you ask for it, you deserve it, in that sense. I mean, I would just say that, yeah.
And matlab, do you have any count, since you were in your film school, you were watching 3 to 5 movies a day? So do you have any count that how many movies have you watched so
I
far?
have no idea, actually. I really would not know.
Okay.
I mean, because earlier, uh, I think what film school was teaching us to was to see a film a number of times to have a perspective, you know.
Hmm.
I think, and that's how we also analyze cinema as well. Um, so I've been watching films from, I mean, actively watching films from 2009. It's 21, so I have
Hmm.
no count actually.
So ये थोड़ा ट्रिकी होगा क्या पूछना कि आर देयर एनी मूवीज which have had deep impact on you, uh,
Yes,
or so do you have yes,
yes, yes,
what are
absolutely.
those?
I think the one film that just completely left me sleepless in FTII was Close Up by Abbas Kiarostami. I think
Hmm.
um, it is just brilliant. It's just about a painter and he's impersonating himself as a Mohsen Makmalbaf, who's a filmmaker. And he
Hmm.
really, like, it just blurs this, you know, uh, blurs this wall between like documentary and fiction. And then he's, I mean, and this is like a real person who has done that. And actually, and Abbas Kiarostami has gone like ahead and recorded his trial. And he's saying that in that moment when I'm playing Mohsen Makmalbaf, I believed it, I am.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, so I was like, oh my god, how can that happen, you know. And the structure of the film, and it just left me sleepless. So I think that's one. And then there is this another film by Christoph Kieslowski, which is The Double Life of Veronica, or Veronic, I think so. And it is haunting, as in, I mean, the music and the way it's been told, it is extremely haunting. And it's about a woman, and she constantly feels in her life that there is a person that exists which is like her. And
Which but she doesn't but it doesn't
it
exist.
does.
It oh, okay.
Yeah. So the way these stories, both the stories have been told, and the soundtrack and all that, it's this has not left me. Like, I still, whenever I'm in, if I close my eyes, I still feel like I'm in. There was this room called a CRT in FTI where I watched this film. So, so is that. And the latest is, I think, about one is this series When They See Us. um,
Hmm.
I mean, wow. I have no words. This is what I think art can do. So this is an episode on the Central Five episode where four black kids were basically arrested and persecuted. I mean, tried in a trial, and they were blamed for the, you know, this woman's gang rape and murder. And it was like a
Hmm.
racial trial. And so, like, what happened, so for all, and then eventually, I mean, eventually what happens is, like, what I like really about the film is it's ever this whole episode was called as Central Five. And when
Hmm.
she told the story, she said, When They See Us. So it's like a whole take on the white uh,
The
yeah,
gaze.
the white gaze and white supremacy and the racism.
Hmm.
And for all our interviews that I've watched, and she actually met these people who were later on exonerated because they did not. There was another, like, jury that appealed for it, and, you know, and they were. I mean, the actual criminal who had done that, he accepted that he had done it. So the white guy, and so they were exonerated and respect. But the kind of loss that they went through and all that, and so she actually um, uh, had in it, made the cast of the series with the actual survivors, and they told their stories. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
And it is just heartbreaking. I mean, uh, so then there is a show, it's on Netflix, and then Oprah interviewed her. And so all the artists, the cast was there, and as well as these people were there. And she just changed their image, man. You know, and the way the whole system had looked at it. I mean, that's what she said she did. and I'm getting goosebumps right now as well. uh,
Mm.
that is what I think art can do. And because it can serve a purpose of social justice, and it can do the right thing, and undo the wrong that has been done, and it can heal you so much. And these people who had been, who had this such a, the impact of that wrong judgment on their lives, and how it impacted them and their relations. And then she makes this thing, and how it, I think it just like, she's like a big healer in that sense, I think. you know so I think that really changed something.
एंड ज्योति, आप जब जैसे बता रहे थे फिल्म मेकिंग के बारे में, एंड आई वाज वेरी क्यूरियस, एंड आई थिंक आई एम श्योर लिसनर्स विल आल्सो बी कि व्हाट इज द प्रोसेस ऑफ अ फिल्म मेकिंग, लाइक वी सी द फाइनल प्रोडक्ट, तो हमें तो पता नहीं है कि, एंड समटाइम्स वी गेट टू सी बिहाइंड द सीन्स। जैसे मैंने अभी द लेटेस्ट बिहाइंड द सीन्स वाज आई हैव सीन ऑफ मूवी
Hmm.
लगान। उसके उसका एक देयर इज दिस होल, I think 1.5 hours or 2 hours of there is a documentary, a madness in the desert, तो उनमें पूरा लगान की मेकिंग वगैरह दिखाई है। बट फ्रॉम योर पर्सपेक्टिव, लाइक व्हाट इज द प्रोसेस, लाइक द मोमेंट द स्क्रिप्ट इज रेडी, लेट्स
Hmm.
से, तो उसके बाद एंड टिल द टाइम यू शिप द फाइनल
Hmm.
प्रोडक्ट, उसके बीच में थोड़ा सा मुझे लाइक बताओगे आपकी व्हाट गोज बिहाइंड द सीन्स?
So I think I have just made a. I mean, I've worked on a fiction as well with Neeraj now, so I have like some understanding of
Yeah.
it. When I mean, for the documentary, it was just like having a plan, and you can't really plan your shot and all that, those things. But I mean, it is more about like what are you going. It's very dynamic medium also, so those things. But maybe you can, I mean, plan your shot as in like something which is like historical, like an event or something is unfolding in front of you, that you can't plan. But maybe like interviews you can plan, good lighting, and maybe two camera setup, or I mean aesthetics, um, and frames. With fiction, I think it is more, I think a really good pre-production is very very important. Even for, I think, docu, it is important in that sense. uh, that where are you going and all that. But with fiction, you have a script ready, so there is a text, there is a sound recce, there is a tech recce, then there is a location recce. So all these things are checked, then locations are figured out already in advance. And
Mm.
costumes are, so the script read one, like you start with basically like a script reading at the creative side, and the production side is like figuring out these things. So when you do script reading, you do it with different departments, and cinematography, sound, edit, direction, writer, um, yeah, I think, and also the associate directors. And I mean, most of the teams are there, like ADs as well. So, costume. So you read the script, and then everybody has to, like, what is the script is for, this meeting is for. And so everybody, these minutes of the meetings are done. And so everybody get a kind of a sense of it. And if people have questions, and you do that. So doing, I think, a big pre-production, a tight pre-production of how you're going to figure it out, the plan of action in how many hours, and if you have actors, then obviously the production side of it. So it's highly planned, and you need to have plan A, plan B, those things. uh, so that is one. And then the shoot is obviously is according to, so during the pre-production you also do this um, where you can plan, you go basically do, you plan your shot. Okay, this scene you're gonna do this, and you do angles, whatever, however you want to shoot it, what's the treatment of the film, with the camera person. So those things you plan, and you have uh, record of everything, whatever
Mm.
whatever is happening at different departments. So those informations are shared, and it constantly keeps on evolving also. So it's not just like the script is the way it has come, it's actually going the same way. No, there's a lot of change that happened on the shoot as well, and even during this pre-production side type as well. So
Hmm.
so yeah, it's just like really hardcore. It's not, and everybody has to be up on their feet. It's, I mean, for Gili Pucci, we were like 16 hours shoot. So
Yeah.
that kind of a time, and you have to keep well and alert. But yeah, it's your job to do it. So everybody's sort of up there trying to do their best, and you're doing it for the film more than your just job, because it's like a whole team work ultimately.
Hmm.
So yeah, these things I think go, and post production is mostly edit and sound. So I was not part of it.
Yeah.
I'm the post production because of like COVID and all that as well. But yeah.
Hmm. And so, Jyoti, switching gears a little bit here, and how do you look at the generally the Hindi film industry and Bollywood, and specifically, how it has? What's your take, and where it has like sort of failed to engage with sensitive issues like caste, probably with not a lot of research and empathy and probably the same standard Savarna gaze which it has
Hmm.
seen. So how do you look at Bollywood from that point of view?
See, I mean, how do I say it? It's critical. It's discourse, right? It's just like I said, and I see it like it's a site of ideological production, and these
Hmm.
now interventions of um, social political discourse has happened. So I see it more like a product of ideology, if I have to say
Hmm.
so. Um, so yeah, I mean, I look at work and cinema if I have to place myself, and how I think, how analyze it, and how I look at it, also, and how. I mean, so I also look at it obviously from the lens of Baba Saheb and from the lens of maybe Bell Hooks and Sandra Harding, and so I think more or less, I would not say like that is the whole industry. I think I would just say like every person is like a product of, and is an ideological state apparatus. I am also like, that way, that
Hmm.
medium through which I'm saying. So I find that the way they have not, I mean, it was disturbing, of course, and I just felt like they've not really worked hard on it,
Hmm.
not sincere about it, uh, in the way they have just projected it. But at the same time, it's also a product of ideology and power. So it's their gaze, and
That's how they look at
it's
things.
their gaze, and that's why I think, at least for me, when I really wanted to articulate it, why I disagree with you, and why I disagreed with Anubhav Sinha for that matter, or anybody on that panel,
Hmm.
was this, that this is not my gaze, this is yours. And
Yeah.
I don't agree with it. I mean, if it makes things a little bit unpleasant, but at the same time, I felt like this is also like a space where this gap has to be filled. So, for me, writing that paper was also came from a very personal experience, and also again an
Yeah.
intervention through which you can look at it at least, you know so
Hmm.
so at least, yeah. So I look at anybody actually as a product of ideology, and I can see it. If I can see it, I will agree or disagree with it. So yeah.
Yeah. And uh, in article 15, I think that first of all that paper is a brilliant piece of work, and I'll also link that paper in the show notes for people to read it. And I think you sum it up very well when you say this in article 15, that it is, and I quote, that it is when the people in the theater enjoy the sarcastic take of the film taker on the question of caste identity and its divisions, the trauma of Bahujan spectatorship doubles, as an uninformed opinion of caste hierarchy is generalized and normalized.
Yeah,
And stop quote.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I felt it.
Yeah.
I felt like this needs to be more than uh, the place of hate, or, you know, this rant, or this disagreement, or this pain. I just felt like there needs to be something through which, I mean, I just felt like there is knowledge that needs to be produced, and it needs to be used and utilized to disagree, to have a different perspective. And it is not my perspective. I don't agree with it. That's the, I think. And then it just kind of, when I went to TISS, and when I went to this panel, and I started working on this film, everything started making sense, that why it was not agreeing with me when I was back there in Bombay, you know, because
Hmm.
that regressive content that was happening, where there is so much violence, and then this is this very distorted idea of a woman, and she's a vamp, and overtly sexualized. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
did not agree with it. I'm like, no, it's not like that, and but how do you convince it? And I also did not know it at that point of time. So I mean, for me, it was more like a place that you can intervene from. And I think I see like my working in Gilipuchi a result of that in some way, because this
Hmm.
information
Hmm.
was sent, it connected with a lot of people, and it held true. So
Yeah.
so I think I mean, even when I was working on this film as well, I felt obviously this is like a place, you are in history, where you have to intervene and you have to get it right. So
Hmm. Yeah.
I think I see it like more like that. I see more like a possibility of intervening, where you can come and claim your place.
हाँ नहीं you're right. And in fact मतलब I was reading your take on Article 15 as well. तो it's very interesting कि मतलब when they are making a film on sensitive issues like caste, I mean, they will like they said they make a Bahujan leader बना दिया and then like they kill him by the end of it, and through state
Yeah,
apparatus. And yeah, और वो standard एक very stereotypical representation of a Bahujan woman. मतलब they don't realize it कि मतलब ये जो कर रहे हो कितना गलत है. And they don't even like have the how do I say this कि the decency to at least like cross check it with someone
correct.
कि यार is it जैसे आप पेपर लिखते हो तो आप peer review कराते हो
Yeah,
ना कि यार कुछ देख लो कि कुछ मतलब problematic तो नहीं है, गलत तो नहीं. Like I don't know if they like even did
yeah,
it. Like it like first of all somebody जो भी बिल्कुल भी aware नहीं हो on this topic, उनको वो देखेगा उसको movie बड़ी अच्छी लगेगी because it sort of appeals to their uninformed idea of caste.
yeah,
अगर किसी का इन्फॉर्म्ड आइडिया ऑफ कास्ट है तो उसको वो उस मूवी में प्रॉब्लम समझ आ जाएगी बिकॉज वो मूवी उसको अनकंफर्टेबल नहीं कर रही है. दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम. That movie is not, in my opinion, when I reflect on Article 15 now, that movie is not making a Brahmin or a Savarna uncomfortable. That is a very important point of that movie as well. It is, on the contrary, it is making the Bahujans
yeah,
uncomfortable by the stereotypical representation. And I think any discourse of caste which fails to make the dominant caste group uncomfortable, it is a useless discourse.
yeah,
एंड वो पूरा उनको पूरा जिस तरीके से एक वो उनने एक ब्राह्मण कैरेक्टर बनाया, उसको अपनी कास्ट ही नहीं पता. बहुत बढ़िया. मतलब हाउ इज दैट इवन इन व्हाट वर्ल्ड दैट इज पॉसिबल, आई डोंट नो.
yeah. This is how
सो
you invisibilize the knowledge, right? So I mean, for me, it was more like I had already gone to these sites.
या.
So my opposition was also this, that did you really, like, what was your my if you go back to that in that session, then you will see that my first question is, what was your process? Was the politics already intact, or did you develop it over the process of developing with the content, engaging with the content? So it is possible, it is definitely possible. It doesn't matter where you come from and what that you want to tell this, but you at least like have an interaction, at least. I mean, I felt like, have you seen a person who's an activist, or have you met these people? So then it just felt like more like a um, again, like with the research, I think kind of like I placed it, and this is, I think it also came around in terms of again, like a whole life come full circle. The things that I was learning at home about this ideology, this that is completely keeping you at the lowest of the low. I found it in Althusser's um, perspective on how this connection between ideology and ideological straight up person. I'm like, hey, yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's basically like the product of that, and it's, I think this is more so it felt more like you're saying wrong, because I felt, oh, Tess is here, so what happened? Tess is there in Bombay. I mean, it's not like that this cannot be researched, but at the same time, I think a lot of knowledge on a press community is also from Brahmin scholar or upper caste scholars.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
then, like, it's again comes back to the whole game of ideology, that who is telling your story and what is their gaze, you know?
correct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
हाँ एंड मतलब आपने मैडम चीफ मिनिस्टर देखी क्या बाय एनी
Yeah, yeah, I
चांस
have.
एंड would you like to throw some light there as well?
Very twisted, I think so. Again, I think just weak research, very weak research, and of course appropriation of Mayawati's identity. It's not
Hmm.
it's not set out there, but it's very twisted, and also then again this materiality of Baujan body, and she's
Sexuality
sexuality,
and
and so
molestation.
all of
Hmm.
that, I'm like, are seeing. And then uh, then she's, I think, so the political wing, whatever she's connected with, they have like a red flag, so that
Hmm.
was also a little I mean,
Misrepresentation.
misrepresentation, I felt. uh,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
again, yeah, it's not research or anything, it's just like caste is a discourse, so let's make a film.
हाँ वही वही मतलब इट्स जस्ट कि चलो कास्ट पे बनाते हैं कुछ
हाँ.
एंड दो चार अच्छा क्या इंग्रेडिएंट्स होते हैं उसके तो दो चार इंग्रेडिएंट्स देखे और जो पॉपुलर डिस्कोर्स में प्रेजेंट है उन चार पांच इंग्रेडिएंट्स को लिया एंड लाइक
But there is such a possibility. So very interesting thing is that Bell Hooks says that in um, the popular culture could be a site of transformation, where you can come from critical thinking and you can produce new knowledge. And I mean, for me that way, like I think, I mean, Neeraj's film as well, Giliputchi, as well as Ranjit's film or Nagaraj's film, they're constantly assertive. So it opens this possibility of this intervention, and, this uh, larger issue of oppression and, discourse and social justice. So this possibility is out there. So why don't you exploit it for the right reason? What is the problem? So yeah. So it's, I think it's again tells who wants to tell what.
correct, correct. And yeah, that is where it is important, I think, and people don't realize it. And there was obviously an uproar during Madam Chief Minister's trailer release and poster release and movie release as well. That and the essentially this was the whole point that which the Bahujan discourse was making. Ki, yaar, matlab, have people from this background uh, in your team who can correct you if you're wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
But वो
absolutely. It's very important.
वो या एंड वो लोग समझ नहीं रहे थे एंड लाइक वहां पे रिप्रेजेंटेशन की बात आ जाती है एंड लाइक दे प्रोबेबली डोंट सेंसिटिवली देखते नहीं है ना एंड जब आई रिमेम्बर दिस इंटरव्यू ऋचा चड्ढा का कि मतलब जब उनसे पूछा गया कि अच्छा अगर कोई यूएस में ब्लैक को वाइट रोल प्ले करे ब्लैक का उस पे ऐसा अगर आप ब्लैक कलर लगा दो और वो वाइट रोल प्ले करे उसका हाउ विल दैट लुक एंड आई थिंक शी कुड नॉट गेट द पॉइंट
Yeah.
what was trying to tell her वो because I think and that tells you मतलब मैं सोच रहा था कि even in quote unquote aware people on caste they fail to understand caste from that lens वो समझ ही नहीं पाते
उसका भी रीजन है,
it's very weird
उसके भी पीछे भी एकेडमिक रीजन है कि आपका हिस्ट्री ही नहीं लिखा है ना.
Correct.
Your history has been written by them, and then again it's in their favor, it is in their discourse. So but then our history also exists, which is thankfully Baba Sahib written, Phule is written. I mean, so those interventions have been there in history, and it's beautiful and it's brilliant. So possibility hai again, like I think I to feel that it is I mean, again, it's why are you engaging with it, and do you see like a larger purpose with it is the question. And it's such a
Yeah,
personal
yeah.
question. It's not necessary that uh, that are we asking it, or is somebody else is asking it. That possibility of asking that question is with everyone. And I think as an artist, or maybe like a philosopher, or like a writer as well, I think if you embrace truth for what is, and project it for what needs to be said in a time in history, it serves a larger purpose. And somebody has to, I
Hmm.
think, say it and do it. So I think that's again comes back to who's raising this question, and then it's again personal and political in that same sense,
Hmm. Hmm.
you know.
Correct. Uh, so as a switching gears here, Jyoti, and like, tell me, how did Gili Pucci happen?
Uh, I mean, I met Neeraj. I think he had also seen Media Rambalwala session, and I also met him for a project. So before we were working on something which did not materialize, but we were exploring the possibility of working. Um, and and I think this paper happened, and this was like it kind of reinstated what's, because when Media Rumble hampered, I think it just made people thoda uncomfortable. And
Hmm.
it made people uncomfortable in my space also, you know,
Acha.
workspace, like so people from my writing background, and other people, they felt like that I was very aggressive, or so I was like, no, not at all.
नहीं, but वो जरूरी भी तो
No,
था
I
ना,
don't think so. I was
मतलब.
aggressive. I mean, I'm just asking the
Hmm.
right question, and I just really want to know. It is nothing about. I mean, I felt like I really want to know. This question needs to be asked, and there is an accountability that is should be desired. Why? What's wrong in it? You know.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
mean, if you want an accountability from me, I will give it to you, of course, So that's how you build your credibility as well. So I felt like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it's just again, they comes back to that thing. So I think we also connected from ideology, and he had also sent out a tweet where he was looking for writers and all. So that way we met. And so this paper also kind of connected with him as well. And yeah, that's it. When I was on the
Hmm.
film.
Yeah. And tell me a little bit about that. What was your like? So, what was your philosophy, or what was Gili Pucci's philosophy? Let's just, ask that question.
Oh, Gili Pucci's philosophy is different from my philosophy. Def-
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Absolutely, because it's not my story, it is Neeraj's story.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
but I connect with that philosophy. I see that there is a space for that kind of a conversation as well. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think it also tells you in a place that you're a man and you're telling a story. So my experience of, if you say if I had to tell this story will be different.
Hmm.
My
And yeah,
treatment of
yeah.
telling it Gili Pucci will be different than how Neeraj is telling. But
Hmm.
because it was not my story, and it's like I was there more like a researcher, academician, and I worked on the dialects as well with both the actors. But yes, I was throughout there on the film, and I completely, because I mean, I've studied script writing, so I understood characters pretty well. And for the secondary casting, I mean, apart from Konkna and Aditi. I was also working with the casting as well with them. So it was like a interesting experience, and I could see both the characters and their agency. And so when the script discussions were happening, so and when Neeraj started the film as well, and he said that why are we making this film, and how it can be different than Article 15 or any other thing that's
Hmm.
existing, because this is not, it's more like assertive, comes from a more assertive place. And so yeah, so we had conversations on caste and gender, and obviously the agency of Bharti Mondal's character is different than the agency of Priya Sharma's character, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So those discussions I had with them, and I told them why, how Bahujan Women's agency is different, because they are more out there. They have to do things on their own. So and they're more like they're more of like a decision maker in that sense. And with Priya Sharma's character, she's more like a vehicle of Brahminical
Subdued. Yeah,
patriarchy in that sense. She's
yeah, yeah.
more like that. And her agency is not so limited. I mean, not I mean, not so wide. It is limited. And she's like the product of Brahminical patriarchy, the good girl, you know that
Typical. Yeah.
image.
अच्छी बहू,
That
अच्छी बेटी.
image. So yeah, they just explain agency. I mean, both the agency, and I think both of them took it really well. And for dialect, because I came from UP, so I was like, for both the characters, the bhasha was wo bhi tha thoda. So, for example, something like Mahavari. You remember Mahavari?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this is something like we discovered. So we're just like trying to, like try. I mean, for me, as when I saw that character and I had to research it, I was really like placing it in the place. And I spoke to somebody, you know. My sister-in-law's mother, who's a midwife. So I spoke to her and I, asked those questions, and I don't understand shit. How does these questions? I mean, how do you know periods, but you don't know you don't know what is this language and all that. So those things, obviously, like making it superbly careful, and Neeraj was also very careful, and he also asked for my perspectives whenever on the shoot as well. कि ये सही है ये गलत है ये कर सकते हैं कि नहीं so we really
Hmm.
connected, and he really appreciated my work as well. um, and I had a lot of learning. I mean, I learned a lot myself in that sense. And yeah, recording the dialogues was really fun. I mean yeah, reading both their
Yeah.
dialogues from different places. So I, for me, like myself doing that exercise, and he asked me to do it, like Neeraj asked me to do it, from try karke dekho, because when we were reading the script. So I did that, and it was like such a fun process, because you just completely place yourself in those characters. So
Hmm.
so yeah, those things. And colors, there was a clear color scheming you can see. And
Yeah, I wanted to ask that question.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, I think that was more of Neeraj's idea. But obviously,
Hmm.
like what color of blue and all that, those were more my thing. And also the location. So I was the locations, how. So I, because I'm from UP, so I called like a lot of people in, because they said set in Kanpur. So I just actually called people in Kanpur to get a hint of how the basically the house of a Brahmin person would look like, and how the house of a Bhujan person would look like.
Hmm.
Specific
Hmm.
specific directions about, okay, this is the character, and she's like this, dono ka ye economic strata, and all those things, and how the temple should be in those. So we really worked on those things as well. um, but you must have, you'll hear it. I think Neeraj has spoken about it. He's spoken about Kieslowski's Blue film, where there is, you'll see a color scheming of blue. So then you'll
Hmm.
see that, I think, in the film as well. So yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, and मतलब few कुछ चीजें तो मतलब I think it's coming out very well in the movie, specifically जो intersectionality है कि
Yeah.
yeah, that though there is a Brahmin woman, yeah, upper caste
Hmm.
woman, उनके पास still being a woman there is a lot of privilege that she has.
Hmm.
एंड जो हमें जो एक एक अगेन एक फेमिनिज्म के पॉपुलर डिस्कोर्स में मतलब वुमेन मतलब बस वो वुमेन रहता है, वो उसमें वो देर इज एक कास्ट का डिस्कोर्स कोई आइडेंटिफाई बहुत बार करता नहीं है. तो वो मतलब उस आई थिंक थ्रू द मूवी इज कमिंग आउट वेरी वेल कि yes, being woman is one thing, but also like it's different to be a Brahmin woman and it's very different to be a Bahujan woman.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think yeah, and I think that is coming out very very well. So I think you should really appreciate the team for that, because wo ek it settles that debate for
Yeah,
for a lot
yeah,
of feminists that
yeah.
way
It's
as
it's
well.
about that again,
uh,
it's about this question of gaze on as well. Like we were very careful
yeah,
about it. I mean, I also felt like it, that way, and Neeraj also felt it that way. So we was just like, and it's very political in that sense. If you see it, and there is nothing
yeah,
political that's been said, but just their agencies, their everything is so different, and the experience of a person is so different. So I think
mm,
because you can place yourself in that situation, I think, and and obviously help of what I wrote before, in Baujan spectatorship, this oppositional gaze, so that gaze
mm,
too, I think it really, I say Gili Pucci like no more like a pedagogy intervention. You'll have to
yeah,
study it, and that's the whole point eventually. So I'm like
yeah, yeah.
very happy about it that a film. I mean, the questions that we raised before, and I also raised before, and it has been going through that process of intervention. It's a good sign, I think.
Yeah, I think the movie will also be sort of being taught in film schools pretty soon, I
Sure,
guess,
it should
if it is
be. It
not
should
already.
be. No, it is. That's the
Yeah,
whole point. I mean, it's like, see, for me, though, it's मेरे लिए मतलब वो तो वही है. It's like I'm saying, it's a point of intervention. I mean, I think things do
yeah,
get
yeah,
uncomfortable, but yes, you can, and that's where I think personally coming from the same, I mean, during the shoot of the film as well, and after our meetings also. And I mean, I had conversations with Neeraj, and of course, we understand the systematic oppression. Somewhere or the other in your life, you have felt it, and if not anything, I think everybody has fallen with an upper caste person once.
yeah,
And has gone through a breakup, or rejection, something
yeah.
like that. So that is such a personal thing as well. So it connects at so many level, which is personal, political, which needs to be corrected. I mean, it's really important, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what I think which is the movie is very much on point is this idea that how in जैसे वो सीन है ना, मतलब कि when Bharti is at Priya's home in one of the last scenes only, and Priya की mother in law उसको एक अलग कप में चाय पिलाती
Hmm.
है, and Bharti is looking at Priya कि यार say something, and like Priya is like कि हाँ क्या मतलब normal है तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है, like she like completely ignores it. And that is, I think that is a very good commentary also on typically upper caste people, specifically हम मतलब anybody who is saying कि वो अलाय है and वो अलायशिप फॉलो करता है, and I think that's a very very important point कि are you able to fight this system in your house.
Hmm.
मतलब अगर आप बोलते हो ना कि मतलब हम अलाय है एंड एवरीथिंग कि क्या जब आपका दलित दोस्त घर में आएगा, क्या वो अपनी आइडेंटिटी खुल के बता सकता है, और अगर वो बताएगा तो क्या आपके घर वाले उससे एक अलग ट्रीटमेंट नहीं करेंगे, और अगर करेंगे तो क्या आप उसको प्रोटेस्ट करोगे या नहीं करोगे. आई थिंक दैट इज अ वेरी बिग पॉइंट, एंड आई थिंक वो आई थिंक दैट वाज आई थिंक टू मी दैट सीन was a very like penultimate scene, because it captured the whole caste system like in the modern sense of it very well कि मतलब how people who would make friends with you, who would say कि यार हमें कास्ट वास्ट से फर्क नहीं पड़ता, but subtly जब उनके सामने जब ऑपरेशन हो रहा होगा वो इग्नोर कर देंगे उसको.
Yeah, it's also like more like a betrayal also as well. Like, you're in love with me. Come on, like you
Yeah, yeah,
don't tell
yeah,
your
yeah.
mother-in-law that, you come from a, like, this is something which is very intimate, and you confide in your lover as a confidant, and then something breaks in you because, you come from
Hmm.
a marginalized background. So I think, yeah, it's like an oppositional gaze. I see it more like that. It's very well done. I mean, kudos to
Yeah,
Neeraj.
yeah.
And
No,
like
yeah,
the whole
absolutely,
team, and
absolutely.
Konkana and Aditi, like everybody was like brilliant. And I mean, the whole team, even the camera work and super everything, music. I mean, everything is just got perfectly right.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, like one more scene is that वो जो केक कटिंग वाला सीन है कि where प्रिया is seeing कि यार भारती ये बाहर है, and then she comes later in the वो to to meet her and say कि यार वो actually ना सब थे तो मैंने तुम्हें अंदर नहीं बुलाया and everything, manager sir थे,
Yeah,
and that is actually like this is like so real,
yeah.
like
His gaze
I
only,
mean,
thoroughly, if you see.
yeah, yeah,
It's like
yeah,
how interesting. That's why I always say it also, not because I have worked on this film, but I think it's really in the film you can see both these gazes, and then
yeah,
and then
yeah.
it's just like, then you get an answer.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think that's really nice. Yeah.
yeah. या व्हाट मतलब जो ज्योति मुझे एक बात जो एंड आई वुड लाइक टू नो योर पर्सपेक्टिव इज
Yeah.
दैट कि जब प्रिया का कैरेक्टर बनाया था तो मतलब अगेन वो ब्राह्मण कैरेक्टर एंड अपर कास्ट कैरेक्टर तो अगेन शी इज वाइट एंड कन्वेंशनल आइडिया ऑफ ब्यूटी स्टैंडर्ड उसको दिखाए
Hmm.
गए बट भारती के कैरेक्टर में वो अगेन डार्क स्किन एंड
Hmm.
एवरीथिंग तो वो मेरे को it felt a little weird, like, to be honest. What do you think about it?
No, I didn't feel anything weird about it at all, actually. I mean, I
Okay.
think there is nothing that goes wrong in that representation. So let's not just say it
Okay.
ki, you have made a dusky person. So agar white kar lete, then would it work for you? Still,
Hmm.
I mean, it's something. I mean, I mean, for me that was not something a question.
Okay.
It's again, like, I'll tell you something, it is the imagination of the writer and the director. Okay, I mean,
Hmm.
at the
Hmm.
last, and at the last end of it. But for everything, that when we were thinking of Bharti's character, and you also need to see that, it in terms of, I think, casting, and like, who can pull off that character. And I think those things,
Hmm.
that's like,
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
a very, very uh, practical question. It's not just the question of intention, I think.
Okay. Hmm.
It's just, for me, I think it was just that. But we definitely, I think, what I really like about it, that it's not at all typecasted, the character.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
mean, I see somebody like Bharti. I have seen people, who would dress like that, or they'll have that kind of an agency. So I think for me, it didn't feel like you have just placed it or staged it.
Hmm. Got
Yeah.
it. Huh. And and moving a little bit here from to your movie and B.R. Ambedkar now and
Yes.
then. So can you tell us a little bit about that? What we should expect, and like what is the overarching theme that you have about the movie in your mind?
Oh, it's the whole gaze, like, of how the popular perspective had looked at it, looked at us. It documents Rohit Vemula's story, Una, the Me Too movement, and it's just more like about a gaze. So for me, it's that. I think you will see that what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
And we have three songs in the film, so we'll see. Hopefully, trying to release it soon. Um, so yeah, one is already out on. Uh, it's there on YouTube. Jai Bhim OST.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, The other two I'm not going to talk about right now.
Yeah. Uh, when did you like thought about that you will make a movie like this?
That's what I was telling you, know, like that's where I began
Yeah.
from. I mean, the I was just at home, and my mother had passed away, and Rohit Vemula happened, and the whole social political circumstance was changing.
Hmm.
So initially, it was just about. It just felt like too much, and Ginni Mahi was singing Dejri Chamar, and like and this is Jai Bhim anthem from uh, um, Shamaji Bhagat's. So there was like a lot of. I was just feeling there's a cultural revolution, and this is really historical, and this needs to be connected, um, and learned, and told. Basically, the story so it needs to be told, I think. And
Hmm.
somehow I also felt like it's like a loss. I think experiencing death kind of shifts something in you. So so I mean, I think my mother's passing, and it was uh, um, too much to go through, and it just puts you sort of in this place in time. Okay, Arre, who are you, what are you doing?
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
and then you, like, obviously you try to figure who the person you are and all that. So those questions had started working out, and and you could see this connection with the historical movement, and how it just also felt like this is the right thing to be told right now. And I mean, I've never felt like driven by something so much. I had written stories before, um, but this was like something I was watching it happening, and was part of my home, and it was also very collective, and it was also very personal. I understood the political later.
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
and I kind of found a language of it at TISS, and then it just started making sense. So yeah.
And when are you releasing it?
So I'm talking to distributors. Let's see. I've applied to some film festivals. We're hoping we do well. Yeah. So I mean,
Okay.
hopefully by the end of this year, I guess, or maybe next year. That's also possible.
Wow.
Yeah, it's COVID time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things are like,
You'll keep us waiting.
no, things are really slow right now. And also, the festival circuit is about 7, 8 months. So we just finished the film in January. And now,
Hmm.
I mean, we've applied to film festivals. So obviously, I'd like to go through the route of film festivals, because that's the way you talk. I mean, you get to know, people get to actually know about films. So.
Hmm. And how is the route of film festival different from a conventional route?
I think it gets you noticed, and then you find distributors and maybe investors that
Hmm.
way. If they're interested, if your film, your project is well deserving, then people will come with different kind of offers. So you need to figure,
Hmm.
I mean,
Great, Jyoti. I think this was a very, very good, interesting, enlightening conversation. Thank you so much for coming on Lights Cameras Adi. This was fantastic conversation. Really loved
no,
it.
thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Um, I mean, I hope I answered all of your questions. I mean, I go
Yeah,
like
yeah,
really descriptive.
yeah. That's the best type of guest you are. Yeah, where I just sit and relax and ask a question.
Yeah, I don't know. That's how I see it. you know,
Yeah,
like Berger says that what you see is what you believe, or what you know.
yeah,
So I think what I know is what I'm telling.
yeah. Looking forward, and I wish you all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Everybody should definitely come to Baltimore. We have a way of speaking to each other through food.
It's really renewed for me my love of what I do.
It's gonna take something far stronger than a pandemic to defeat us.
All of these businesses are taking precautions to make sure that everyone is safe. We're ready.
See what we've got going on. Plan your visit at baltimore.org.
Ain't no place like a cowboy place. Ain't no time like a cowboy time. Ain't no way like the cowboy way. Have a cowboy kind of day, yeah.
Try the new Big Sky Burger at Roy Rogers. It's Smithfield pulled pork, beer battered onion rings, American cheese, and spicy barbecue sauce on a Kaiser bun.
Have a cowboy kind of day at Roy's. Ain't no way you're going wrong. Hey, yeah.
DoorDash and Uber Eats available at participating restaurants.